Hey, what's going on? This is Kopelli from the Coleman Young Collective, co-owners. I'm an MC, artist advocate, event curator, executive producer, nerd, bald guy with a beard, pervy sage, Heisenperv, just a general nice guy about town, making music and saying words that rhyme together. Oh man, the Detroit music scene is happening, man. There's so much going on. There's so much talent. We have legendary veterans. Fat Cat, Guilty Simpson, Black Milk, Danny Brown, Eminem, and then we got a young generation that's really like carving out their own niche. This is just hip hop, with Clear Soul Forces and Big Sean and Dusty McFly and Richie Marciano, and then you got kind of the alternative scene, the guys that are doing really like innovative, original stuff. Passalacqua, Jamaican Queens, my brothers from Coleman Young, the co-owners, Eddie Logic, Doc Waffles, Detroit City, Doc Illingsworth, Red Pill. I know I'm leaving folks out and nobody's upset about it, but that's just how much talent is here, how many creative, innovative artists are here. My partner, Jay Norm, I do so much music with him, and he's got so much stuff going on, just really exciting stuff. So, man, it's an exciting time to be here. It's like a renaissance. So I've been doing music seriously probably since about 06, 07. Helped form the Coleman Young Collective with 3 other MCs in 08. Had really been putting all of my energy and resources into the Coleman Young Collective. Got 2 good projects in and felt like it was just time to work on a solo project. So my influence was kind of just like grown man, fun hip hop music. Sat down with Jay Norm, crafted the sound of the album. Got a couple of tracks from the Olympics, one from Doc Illingsworth, a bunch of other tracks, some stuff that didn't make it, and just crafted the sound of fun, at least for me. And hopefully people will have as much fun listening to it as I had making it. I would separate myself from Coleman Young. That's my musical, my musical home, is with those guys. We came up together, we sharpened each other. Everybody's got their own style, super lyrical, super conscious, super abstract. I feel like I have those elements, but I'm also just like super party guy. Maybe not even necessarily always being the guy doing the partying, but I like to make that kind of music. I like to make music that can kind of fuel the good time. So I think that was the unique thing about me, is I'm trying to fuel the party and to fuel the good times. And I really had the opportunity to step out on my own and do that with this project. Anytime you get to share a stage with peers who you respect is always a high point. And I get to do that often. Jamaican Queens, Passalacqua, Clear Soul Forces, that's always a high point. Performing with people you respect and admire is a high point. As far as an individual high point, I would say getting one of the songs I wrote and performed on placed in a major motion picture in the Don John film. That was awesome. My style of delivery and beat selection is like a weird gumbo of things that probably don't go together. As far as my delivery, I listen to a lot of Mos Def, Black Thought, and Common coming up, along with Digital Underground. And I kind of just took the influences on how to build my cadence and projection off of those guys. As far as beat selection, like I said, Detroit is just full of dope musicians. And there was a time when I was looking for a specific breakbeat sound, but over time I kind of got more attuned to what the masses were listening to, more up-tempo, bass heavy kind of stuff. And it's the producers that I was, had the fortune to work with, were just putting that kind of stuff together with real innovative sounds, like the use of synths and keyboards and stuff. So it's kind of just an amalgamation of what was available to me, and what was available to me was high quality. My favorite women in hip hop are the Detroit women in hip hop. Miss Corona, legendary, Invincible, Piper Carter, activist and an artist that have really been putting on for women in hip hop, as well as like youth and children in hip hop and just in culture and society in general. Bull Brown, super dope, talented MC from here originally. She's in Atlanta now, but we still claim her. She holds it down. Mayday. There's a ton of really, really, really talented women in Detroit hip hop on the artist side, the administrative side, the activism side. So the Detroit women in hip hop are my favorites. For me, a successful music career is just being able to make a living off of your art and just getting your artwork out to as many people as possible. Being able to travel the world, see different people, perform with different artists, connect, network, just to be able to really do it full time. Not necessarily even just get like super huge, world famous with it, but just be able for that to be the day job. For me, that would be success. My biggest hurdle as an artist has just been, always having these grand ideas, and always wanting to create, but then not always having the resources available to create. Music is an expensive, medium to work in. There's production, there's studio time, there's mixing and mastering, there's PR if you want to get your project out there. The packaging has to be right. There's so much that goes into making a quality project, and I try to make quality projects and be as professional about it as possible. And it's an investment, and sometimes the resources for those investments are scarce. Normally what I'll do, I'll get inspired by a nice piece of work that's out there, but whether it be audio or visual. I call up one of my producer friends, more often than not, Jay Norm, and we'll sit down and bounce ideas off each other. I'll give him like a kind of a general direction of where I want to go. We'll flesh stuff out concept-wise. He'll give me some beats, lay a sound bed down for my ideas. I'll drive around with the tracks or sit in the studio with the tracks or go to the coffee house and listen to stuff and kind of just compose as it comes to me. Like if I sit down and just try to write dedicated, I get stuck. But if it just comes to me naturally, free-flowing throughout the course of the day, while riding around the music, that's normally how it works for me. To just kind of like have as much of yourself available to create as possible. Not getting tied up in like mortgages and car notes and things like that, and just having as much revenue and disposable income to create art as you can. And then just like volume, not to just create something and then kind of sit on that, but to always constantly be creating. When I first started, I would do a project, 12, 15 songs, then I just sit on that project for 6 months before I even went back in the studio. And now it's like, I know that you kind of need to be creating all the time. You can never have enough good music, so to always be creating.